Hey, brother.
Vaughn, how are you, brother? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're all wet.
I'm a little wet. I got caught, and I know we're going to be on the bikes later as well, but it's a little wet out.
Okay, I have a surprise for you. Let's change your jacket. I have one for you.
Okay.
This is our ArtyA leather
It's an
jacket.
ArtyA biker jacket?
Of course.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
This one I throw away, right?
Yeah. You may have to. Dude, what is this?
So this is one of my bikes. You know, we do bikes.
Yeah.
So this one is, everything is made by hand.
Right. In addition to being a watch creator, you also design and build motorcycles as well?
Yeah, a motorcycle, a bicycle, knives.
Wow.
But it's fun, it's passion. Passion never stop.
And you've got a slot machine here.
Go ahead. If you make 3 like this,
yes,
I give you a tourbillon.
Okay.
If you don't, you have to buy it.
Okay, let's go. I'll be buying a tourbillon then, I guess.
This is where we really do all the development, the first prototype. And that's my son.
Good to see you. Dude, I love the watch.
Thanks.
So that's the small size sapphire flying tourbillon.
Why don't you have a look at my office?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is
this is the famous knife you made with like the watchmaking gear training.
Yeah. It works with the gears. Yeah. This is my egg, where I can relax, meditate, and music. Everything is about vibration.
Right.
So music for me is a key point in my life.
Very cool.
This is the floor down.
Let's do it. And you have a tuk-tuk coffee machine.
It brings you far away.
Incredible.
This is very old stuff. Here's my watchmaker place where
It's a knife blade that you were making.
I do the watches. Maybe let's go to the place where things happen. After you.
Thank you, sir. Yvan, how are you, sir?
Good. Thank you, and yourself.
Dude, your atelier is insane. I love the fact that you show me all of your references, rock and roll, motorcycles, knives, you know, everything that's cool in the culture that I love, you've taken and translated into a unique brand of horology, but with actually really excellent authenticity in the watchmaking. So we've got watches here. Tell me about what we've got here, bro.
Yeah, in fact, you're totally right. It's an act of passion. It's an act of love to make watches. As many people say, nobody needs a watch to tell the time. So you need to give something else. You need to give a story. You need to give emotion. You need to give passion. And this is what ArtyA is all about. What we do is very limited edition or unique piece in which we do a lot. We put a lot of love, work, dedication, passion. And this you feel. When you buy one of our watches, you feel. This is like you are part of the family. You are part of our tribe. And really, also you saw the level of finish is exceptional. And this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to do watches. People do watches in 500 years, right?
Right.
If I want to do the same watches on a brand, like a brand I love, like Vacheron Constantin, I'm 500 years late.
Sure.
So I need to find new ways. Watches changing color, the way we do the architecture of the movement, the sapphire, the moissonite, all these new materials we use, and all this new finishing, and all this new way we try to find, because this is what people also want, not to have the same watch than their neighbor.
Absolutely, you know, and you were just mentioning it, so let's talk about this. This is one of my favorite models that you create. This is a small size tourbillon. It's a completely skeletonized tourbillon with amazing open work with this beautiful floating flying tourbillon at 9 o'clock, right? But you've made it in the perfect size for today. Like I've been saying for quite some time, right? Like people want watches that are visually rich, but in really cool wearable sizes. So you've done it in 39 mm, and then you've executed in multiple shades of sapphire crystal. So I have the full, you know, transparent sapphire here, the way we perceive sapphire crystal. But then you've got 3 versions here using a combination of sapphire crystal and nanotechnology to create watches that actually change color like a chameleon. That's crazy. Totally. Tell me about this, man.
Yeah, this is something we work since 3-4 years, and we have it in 3 years. We sell it, but we worked 3 years before, so there's 6 years of work now. And what is interesting is really it's like you are also different during the day, and the watch should follow your style.
How does the technology create this illusion that the watch is changing color?
You know, some natural stone have this effect, and we studied this, and we bring it to the watchmaking, and really it's just the reflecting of the light that makes the color change instantly.
That's cool, but I also like the way it's responding to the contemporary customer as well, because that's a guy who lives, you know, part of his life in daylight on the beach or whatever like that by the pool, or as you say in the office, but then he has another life at night when he goes out to dinner, he goes to a nightclub, he can be a bit of a nocturnal animal, and his watch is like reflective of that change, that transition and move from one thing to the other.
Yeah, you don't need to change watches. You can keep your watch and it change with you.
That's really cool. And then you've got this one here, which has got like a beautiful amber color.
And it goes to a very strong green instantly.
That's really cool. The amazing thing is that, like, you know, looking at it here inside of this light and then just walking out into a light source that's a little bit brighter outside. I mean, the color change is dramatic.
Yes.
And then, okay, this, I have to say, this is probably my favorite as well. This is like, it's orange in here, but then it becomes a screaming hot pink.
Yeah, true. True.
And I love pink. Like, I love pink watches.
Excellent. Yeah, this is cool.
That's so dope. Okay, but then you've taken it even a step further, right? Because you've got a sapphire crystal watch here that is monoblock. So this case is actually not two cases put together, but half of it's in green and half of it's in this beautiful rose-colored pink as well. Like, how the hell did you do this, man?
So this, you know, sapphire is synthetically grown.
Right.
So we grown from the start with two colors, and then when we worked, we had to be very careful to take the middle of this grown sapphire to make it like this. So this will not change color, but it's a first worldwide as well to have these two colors melt together in one case. It's not glued, it is made like this.
That's incredible. You know, and the other thing, Yvan, I noticed is that for you, you want to make really, you know, courageous avant-garde watches with great authenticity in terms of watchmaking, but also at like a value proposition as well.
Sure.
So let's talk about pricing a little bit. So the full sapphire, how much is that?
125.
Which actually, for a full sapphire flying tourbillon skeletonized is sick, right?
And it's own movement, so it's a double barrel, 4 hertz, because most of the tourbillon are 2.5, 3 hertz. This one is 4 hertz. The cage of the tourbillon is 80 millimeters, so that's more than 45% of the total volume of the watch is a tourbillon.
Oh wow, that's
so
cool.
You really see this tourbillon popping out, flying, own movement. It's also 3 years of development, and it's really very high-end finishing. So really, yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
I like the visual harmony of the movement because you basically have 4 circles. You got 2 circles for the barrel, 1 big circle for the tourbillon, and then the last circle hovering on top is the dial.
Totally right.
So you look at it and there's like, it's almost like a Venn diagram, you know, like you sense like this visual harmony. And then what's cool is also because both of the barrels are skeletonized, you don't need a power reserve indicator. You can just look immediately and see what the power reserve of your watch is.
72 hours.
Dude, that's sick. That's really cool. Kudos on the fact that you're doing it as a 4 hertz tourbillon because you're absolutely right. 21.6 is a normal vibrational speed for like 99% of the tourbillons in the watch industry. You know, that's really cool. More stable, you know.
More stable, more accurate, and with a power reserve which doesn't fall like this. It falls slowly, which is very nice.
So, question for you: Is this tourbillon stable enough that you can wear it when you're riding your motorcycle?
I do it all the time. See, I have one. I have the bigger size, which is the same family called the Purity family.
Right.
And I do motorbike. I do not the boxing only because. Below the glow doesn't work.
Incidentally, we have to congratulate you on you receiving your 9th dan black belt. This guy is one of the most accomplished karate masters in Switzerland, you know, so, and definitely in the watch industry. So done.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, amazing. Okay, so let's go from that to this beautiful tonneau-shaped tourbillon as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this family, called the Purity family, is growing every day. We'll have a 3 hands movement that will be presented during the only watch in a moissonnite case, which is something never done. And here, what we did in a tonneau shape. So it's a big word because it's always the same architecture, but totally reworked. And here, it's a tonneau in full sapphire, also in nanotechnology with changing color sapphire. But what is good is the way the tonneau is made. You can read from different angles. It can look like a boat. It can look like a normal tonneau. And it's something, it was a big work that I'm happy to say I did with my son. Jeremy, he made the design of.
It's very cool because I like how it's narrower on the bottom side than it is on the top, and it kind of flares out like wheel arches. And then I like the fact that the crown's at 12 o'clock as well because it's a perfect position because it doesn't get in the way. But you know what I have to say is when I put this watch on my wrist, it's also super wearable. Also,
it's incredibly curved. It's curved,
And so like the intention to ergonomics there is really impressive. Well, which I can only imagine was also expensive for you.
It is expensive.
And what would be?
So we make it simple. We make it the same price than the small tourbillon, 125.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So we have a simple line of products.
And tell me a little bit about this watch because it's an art piece that has actual butterfly wings inside.
Totally, yes. So my wife is doing the dial by hands.
Really?
It's real butterflies. The butterfly has lived his life. We buy it in an eco-friendly way. Once it's dead, we buy the butterflies. And it's by hand put on the dial. The case itself is quite special. It's a full marbled sapphire. See, the sapphire has different color inside.
Yeah.
So this is in fact when we tried to make the bicolor. At the beginning, we didn't make it well, and it was nice. I said, well, let's keep it and let's make a couple of watches marbled. And so it's melted totally the two colors, and it makes a very great effect with Cosc movement.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
And the price of this?
So this one is, I think, 60,000.
I love the fact that the whole family is working in the.
Yeah, it's cool. Well. Yeah.
That's
this
really
is
cool.
Important. Family is important for me.
That's stunning, man. And then let's go from that to this really impressive monopusher chronograph tourbillon, flying tourbillon. Tell me a little bit about it. It's a pièce unique, right?
Yes, it's a pièce unique.
Right.
The interesting thing is it's designed as a skull, but you don't see it first. You see the shape is in fact the two eyes, and it's a very elegant way. And you have the flying tourbillon, monopusher, power reserve, and at the back a big date, which is interesting because you need to take out your watch to know what day you live in. The last piece of a series of 9 unique pieces, very different one.
Right.
And this is the very last one we have.
Super cool, and the architecture of the movement's great. You see the column wheel 12 o'clock.
Yep.
And then you see the drive wheel that engages with the cage of the tourbillon to drive this massive seconds counter. You know, that's well, this small seconds counter that's driven by this massive wheel, which is really cool. You know, but you're something of a legend in the watch industry, Yvan. I mean, you've had, a few brands at this point.
Yeah.
I remember the stuff that you were doing in your previous brand also was so groundbreaking.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were the first guy to ever create a watch with no hands. Right,
Yeah.
And it's interesting today because I think that the relevance of watches today are no longer a time-telling instrument, but purely as a method of self-expression.
True.
And you've taken that to another level with the beauty that you created related to these watches also.
Thank you.
So let's go from that to what I think is probably the only sapphire crystal diving watch that I can think of in the Swiss watch industry, and that is executed with Confa enamel on one here, and then also with adventuring as well. So
true. Yes. The idea was to say, okay, I love sapphire, but in fact, when you make sapphire with steel, you need a steel screw to put the back of the sapphire. It will not stand pressure more than 30 meters.
Right.
So we tried a different way, and this watch, I'm proud to say, is the very first full sapphire. There's zero steel in it. You see the way it's closed, the way it's manufactured, there's no steel. So we can go all the way to 100 meters. I put 60 meters in the official because we want some safety, but it's the first watch that stands high pressure diving. And
this is cool.
Yeah, this is really cool. But to do so, we had to make some choices. For example, we chose not to put a turning bezel.
Okay.
Because otherwise you have the steel again and you get all the problems of the steel that don't like the sapphire when diving. Right. So that's why we chose to make a fixed bezel. So we will not call it diver, we call it aqua sapphire.
Aqua sapphire.
Enjoy water.
That's really cool. But you've kept the iconography of
yes,
watch.
Yes, very much.
So. Playing with this.
We have it in steel, of course, diving with a turning bezel. We have it in fiber carbon. We have it in different materials with turning bezel for sure.
Well, I mean, to be fair, actually, if you actually want to use it for diving, all you'd have to do is pull out the crown and set the minute hand to 12 o'clock, and then you could just use it for that. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, it still kind of functions in that way, but it's fully sapphire crystal. And then of course, we have to go. You mentioned the meteorite, so we got to look at the meteorite version of it as well. You know, it's cool also because you're using these materials in a way that really is engaging from a visual perspective, right?
Yes.
Just interesting color combinations. I mean, you're just making really fun watches.
Thank you.
But you're making them well also and at great price points. Okay, so what is the aqua sapphire going to cost us?
It starts at $29.9.
Right.
And when you have a colored bezel, it's $39.9. When it's full colored, it's $49.9.
Dude, it's sick. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Yvan, I have to say, I'm really impressed. Thank you for having us in the atelier.
Thank you to you.
And brother, I think we're going to, brave the rain and take a motorcycle ride, and then we're going to go check out your boutique as well because I know you have some pretty amazing, complicated watches.
Yeah, I want to show you a special watch that just arrived at the boutique today.
That's fantastic. Let's head out. And also, hey, thank you for the ArtyA motorcycle jacket. Also, Cheers, guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.